What's up, everybody? As you can see, I finally got my doors. Check it out. Yeah. Hey, let me get the fuck out of the way. Years and years later. Um, anyway, today's video is the reality of what men have to look out for, the reality of what men need to be mindful of. And this isn't catching STDs, this isn't impregnating women, this isn't marrying women that then end up taking half your assets. This is, if you were dating, the reality of what you need to watch out for, and that is false accusations. Um, Now, somehow, I've been a victim of this multiple times, being the I would say out of all men, I'm probably the least aggressive there is here. So it's somewhat surprising to me that it even happened to me, but it's just the reality of what we have to deal with now. So let's just get straight into it. I'm sure I've discussed these stories before, but I'll tell you again to summarize in this video. That whole saying that regret is not rape, there's a lot to that. I know women, again, are going to get their panties in a bunch and get all pissed off about this, but it's true. So, probably in 2011, I think it was 2011, I was hanging out in my garage one day, working on a car, or just fiddling around with my own car. I can't remember which. And my neighbor, who was a female, walked by and said hi. I said hi back, and they were like, "What are you doing today?" I was like, "I don't know. I might go to the pool." So she was like, "Oh shit, the pool sounds really nice. I'll go." I'm like, "Okay, well sure, let's go." We go to the pool with me and several other people and have a good day, good time. We flirted a bunch. She was like hugging on me, you know, kissing me and stuff. And I was like, "Oh, well, all right. Well, this girl really likes me." At the end of the day, we fooled around a little bit. Didn't have sex, but fooled around. And then I think it was I don't know, a day later, day or two later, there are I get a call from one of my friends that said, "Hey man, there's a shit ton of cops here looking for you." And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" They're like, "No, there's literally cops everywhere. They're looking for you." And I was like, "Okay, tell them I'll be right there." So I leave where I was, I go home, and sure as shit, there's like 6 cop cars, 2 detective cars at my apartment looking for me. And I'm like, "What is going on? Like, what happened?" And immediately they start to interrogate me about this girl. What ended up happening is she had a boyfriend that I was unaware of, and he found out about what happened between her and I. And rather than owning up to it and trying to rectify the relationship that way, she wanted to save face, so she blamed me. Um, so I got interrogated heavily all day long, just questions after questions after questions after questions. Um, it ended up that the detectives didn't even push charges because her story was just massively incongruent, and I had many witnesses that were attesting to this. Um, so they didn't push charges, but the fact of the matter was, if I didn't have the witnesses and her story did line up, I could have been facing 10 years in prison for that, over a lie, over something that was completely not true, just so she could save her relationship. That's the level of selfishness and manipulation and what do you call it? Calling wolf per se. So that's when I started to realize. That's when I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stop messing around with women. Or I'm gonna be a little bit more careful with women. Second scenario was the narcissistic ex-girlfriend that ended up ultimately filing a civil case against me for domestic violence, that I was the abuser. And for all you in narcissistic relationships, you know how completely and utterly ridiculous that is. Especially those of you that have seen the video of her literally tearing my apartment apart. Um, the sheer audacity and the ballsiness of her claiming to be the victim when she was the abuser, uh, blew my mind. It blew my fucking mind. You know, thankfully that was just a civil case. So worst case scenario would have turned out like um, a no contact order and stuff like that. I still won that case too because the judge realized that she was batshit crazy. Um, but still, nonetheless, money down the drain, lawyer expenses, just a bunch of fucking bullshit, unnecessary drama that was completely, completely untrue. Third case I discussed recently was at a bar, and my friend was like talking to this girl, and he said, "Oh, she's a bitch," and I was like, "You're just not talking to her right." And so I was like, "Oh, fuck it, I'll talk to her." And then she got offended by something, and it ended up telling the bartender that I offered her to go suck my dick in the back of the bar. Of course, the bartender, maybe or maybe not, was their boyfriend. That's what she said, but I don't fucking know. Was looking at me like, what the fuck? And this was, again, a blatant and obvious attempt to, typically when that would happen, I would imagine that the bouncers would come, rough you up a little bit, and kick you out. And that's what the girl wanted, you know. Um, so this is the third time that I've experienced women outright, utterly lying to try to fuck you over. The disturbing part is it's not a fuck you over in the sense of getting even. It's not even getting even. They're going for blood. They're going for the jugular. They're going straight out to fuck your life. You know what I mean? 10 years in jail, domestic violence, fucking saying I wanted you to suck my dick in the back. Like, really? The thing is, when these type of women get mad, there's no holds bar. There's no rules. There's no regulations. There's no morality. They will lie and cheat and fuck the system as much as they possibly can just to get their way. Now you have to ask yourself, why do women think that's acceptable? You think I falsely accuse like other people of crimes? Like, you know, try to get people kicked out of the bar just because I didn't like what they had to say. You know, it all of it is so really baffling to me, and it just shows this lack of morality, this lack of caring about other people's welfare, this total and complete narcissistic selfishness. And this, dude, as a single man in America now, this is the type of shit you have to watch out for. Fuck worrying about STDs. Fuck worrying about getting her pregnant. You need to worry about the rape charge. You need to worry about the domestic violence charge. You need to worry about whatever the fuck she's going to say when she doesn't get her way. Because, and if any of these circumstances had just been slightly different, my life would have turned out completely different. Could have spent 10 years in jail. Could have, you know, I mean, I guess a no contact, whatever order wouldn't have been too big of a deal. But still, it's something. I could have had a civil thing on my record. Could have been beat the fuck up and kicked out of a bar. Like, it's just a bunch of shit that should have never ever happened. almost happened because these women tried to get away with these little games and ploys of theirs. This is the type of shit that a modern American man has to look out for. Not even American. I've seen videos about this shit happening in Sweden, Spain, Germany. It's happening everywhere. Like, and what I don't understand is why women have this. They feel like they have this right to do that. Like they can do whatever the fuck they want, and there's no consequences. There's no repercussions. Oh, so what if I lie and send them to jail for 10 years? Who cares? Yeah, yeah, it's fucking baffling, baffling, and scary as fuck. For if you're a man, you need to be scared. You need to be scared. Um, it's just the reality of the world now. It's fucking sad. But I will say that, as far as like women I've talked to and or semi dated, gone out on dates with, you know, it's a low percentage. I would probably give it like 5 to 10% from my experience of women that have attempted to do this sort of shit. Um, but that's still 10% of women um, attempting these games is still pretty fucking scary. 1 out of 10 girls you meet or take out on a date might pull that shit on you. You know, just gotta be mindful of it. You go out on a date with her and go to the club or the bar, and she gets drunk and she does some things that she's not so proud of. Next thing you know, you might be facing 10 years in prison. Ain't that some fucked up shit? All right, that's it for tonight. I'll see you later.